Hello artists, we have a new project for you. This is going to be using all kinds of shapes that you can find around the house. Now we have at our house a few of these different kinds of cutting shapes for Play-Doh, which work really well because they are flat. You can also use cookie cutters, but you want to find a whole bunch of different shapes that you can trace really easily. So the ones that you can trace easily usually have one side that's a little bit flat, so we can trace around it without having to hold it at the same time. Here's a rock that we found that's nice and flat. We're going to try this light bulb out. We've also got a tape dispenser and some puzzle pieces and this big circle shape. So you can find any kinds of objects around your house that are a specific kind of shape that you can trace really easily. And you also want to grab some crayons. You can also use markers, but crayons are a little bit more easy to handle with this particular project. So go ahead around your house, find some different objects and collect them, and we're going to start the project next. It sort of depends on how many objects you have or how many you can find for how you might want to do this. So once you've decided on a few objects, what you're going to do is figure out where you want one of those to go, and you're going to do them one at a time so that you don't just have to do them separate. So that if I just lay these down like this, they're in separate spaces, but we're going to do it so we trace one, then move it, and then you can trace another one and it can overlap if you want to. And that's just to get some interesting shapes that we're going to later add color to. So find a few objects that you want to start with and start tracing. So I'm going to start doing my tracing with this circle shape first, and I'm just going to do it right here. This is a little hard to do without. I'm going to do it and come back because I can't do it with two hands or one hand. Okay, see you in a minute. So here's my circle shape. I did both the inside and the outside. Now I'm going to choose another shape. I think I'm going to do this puzzle piece, and I'm going to overlap it a little bit with the last shape that I traced, and I'm going to use a completely different color just for fun. So you can grab another shape that's flat that you can trace and go ahead and trace that wherever you want to in relationship to the first one that you did. So there is my puzzle piece, and the next thing I think I'm going to do is this comb, which I really like. It's going to take me a little more effort to get around all of those prongs of my comb, but I think it will look really neat. You can also, of course, do the same shape more than once, and that is something that you might think about as you're doing this, but I'm going to go ahead and do a few more and then we'll come back again. So I have added a few more different shapes here. I did my sunglasses. Here's the comb. I also traced this really big circle, which is part of another thing. I'm probably going to do a few more, and one thing that I wanted to mention before I keep going is that if you wanted to do a shape that comes off the edge of your paper a little bit so that some of it's on there, some of it's not, that's also something that is kind of neat to do and try out, because it makes this idea that this is just a piece of a larger picture. So if you wanted to try tracing something that comes off the edge of your paper as well as overlapping things, you could do that too. So I'm just about finished. I'm thinking I'm going to do one more shape probably up here. I don't know how many I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10, maybe 11 shapes. If you can fill up your whole paper, you'll have a lot more fun with the second part of this. So I recommend you doing as many different colors and about maybe 11 or 12 different shapes on your paper. And some of them, if they don't look exactly like what you were planning to put on, it's okay. Like if you don't recognize it anymore, which can happen sometimes, like it's a little hard to tell these are still glasses, that's fine. You don't have to worry really about that. You're thinking more about how you can create these interesting new shapes out of the shapes that you have. So here's this puzzle piece shape, and there's an interesting shape in here that we wouldn't have even found before if we hadn't have tried this out. So just find as many, I would say maybe 12. If you decide you want to do more than that, that's great, but just keep going until you have your page pretty well filled up. And that is the first part of the project. And then whenever you're ready to do the second part, that will be up very soon too. All right, enjoy folks. Talk to you soon. Bye.